guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun white trips weak. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Right.
What's up, guys? Boogz here, and welcome to another Ask Boogz video here on the HuddleGG YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be breaking down how to read and pick up blitzes. Shout out to my guy, Grady Bean, for asking today's question. Basically, as simple as I already said it, how to read and pick up blitzes. So we're going to break that down. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. There's a lot of little tricky nuances to picking up blitzes and reading blitzes, but I'm going to give you the basic and the simple stuff first. And then if you guys have a deeper or more extensive question, I can definitely go in depth on further things. But this video can end up being 20, 30, 40 minutes long because there's a lot of little weird things that comes with picking up blitzes. But the basics will carry you a long way with picking up most, if not all, blitzes. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a very underrated high-level tip that will help you to pick up a lot of the more difficult blitzes. But even still, even some of that stuff can get pretty extensive and long to explain. But before we get into the video, make sure you check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BugattiBoogz. I'm probably live right now. Come through, check me out. Let me know how you feel about the YouTube content. Let me know how you feel about my stream content, all that good jazz. And you guys continue to keep posting comments in the YouTube comments, man. I'm lurking, I'm watching, I'm also responding to guys. Try my best to get back with you all and answer any questions you guys may have, not only in these videos, but in the comments as well. So appreciate you guys for watching this video ahead of time. And now let's get into this video, man. And in this video, the first thing I'm going to go over is the value of having a running back and a tight end on the opposite side of the field. So formation like this right here, wrong controller, but formation like the one I'm in right now, wide trips, where I have a running back on the left side and a tight end on the right. I chose not to use bunch in this particular video, but you guys know that I'm a huge bunch week advocate, just because that's been the formation I've ran pretty much since I've been in the Madden scene, since Madden 12, Madden 11. So that's like I've been running that formation forever. I know it like the back of my hand. But one of the biggest reasons why I've always loved that formation is when you go up against blitzes that can be a little bit hard to deal with, you got to be able to have a max protect option. And I don't mean using the pass protection max protect. You see this pass protection right here. When I hit the LB button to pull up my pass protection, I can hit max protect. I don't really like that option in the game, but what I mean by max protect, just being able to block your tight end and your running back. I'm not talking about the actual slide protection max protection, because the slide protection max protection honestly has seemed like it's been broken over the last couple of years, to the point to where when you do that, it almost feels like it makes the blitzes better, and like you just get screamed at even faster. If you don't know what the max pass protection is, so let's say you have everyone out on route. So you see right now we're sending every eligible receiver out on a route. If you hit the pass protection button, LB or L1 if you're on PlayStation, and then up on the right stick or up on the D-pad, then it blocks your tight end and your running back. And it just seems like that protection has always really kind of gotten me screamed at. I haven't tried it against this popular blitz right here. The first defense we're going to show, or the defense I'm going to use in this example, is the popular blitz right now that you guys are probably going up against in mud head-to-head or weekend league or whatever mode you're playing on right now. Is this 3-3-5 odd blitz that a lot of people are using to get pressure right now. It's a part of the meta. So right now I'm just using it against this. I haven't tried it, but we're going to see right now on this play whether or not we get screamed at by using that max protect option. Actually right there, it actually did a solid job of picking it up. But the little subtle thing that I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, was the instant shed. And I'm not sure if that's practice mode, because you all know, like I know, that practice mode just gets you screamed at and shedded super, super fast, faster than you'll ever play it when you're in just a regular game. But that's something I would keep in mind. But it actually did pick it up there, um, which is shocking. But so what I want to do is go over how to read and pick up blitzes. Well, in Madden, and the way that Madden works, there's this thing called Nano Detection in the game, where basically if this guy, or let's say this guy loops in, he would have to loop in over here inside this gap. Let me take this linebacker inside this gap here, or this gap here, the A or the B gap, in order for him to get nano detected. But basically what it is now that we have nano detection, which was added in Madden 17, once a guy comes free through the A or the B gap, they stop. You've seen it plenty of times, I'm sure, where you'll see a defensive lineman or somebody just freeze and they'll just stand in like and they'll just stand there and kind of just strafe. Well, that's nano detection. And because nanos don't exist anymore, the A gaps and the B gaps, that's really where that term came from, when people were getting A gaps and B gap blitz pressure and stuff like that, because that type of pressure doesn't exist anymore. When you're reading a blitz now in today's Madden, you have to read it from the edge. All the pressure is going to come from the edge. People are going to either do like a bare front, where they have everyone blitzing in the gap. You see how you can press and get everybody in the gap. This guy's not going to come in the gap because I moved him, but let's just assume he was in the gap. So you get that bare front where everyone's in the gap, like so. And even still, the obvious side of where the pressure would come from would be here, because this is where the stacked side is. Everywhere else, you have a 3 down lineman, then you have 2 linebackers in the middle in between each side, and then the side that's overloaded is this extra linebacker here. So that's where the pressure will come from. Pressure is always going to come from the overloaded side for the offensive line, because if I move this guy, then it's a hat on a hat on a hat. The center is going to take the nose guard. The left guard is going to take the middle linebacker on the left. The left tackle is going to take the defensive end on the left, and then vice versa on the right side. So, people use the bare front, or people will use pressure where they'll bring defensive backs in to bring, kind of overload a side, or they'll have, like right now the defense is a little bit more symmetrical, because now you got 2 linebackers in the middle, and then you have a guy on each edge that you can send. And so to get edge pressure, people have to do that. And so now, without this guy being on the edge, you can identify that the pressure is going to come from this guy right here, because he's the overload side, until they balance it out. And if they bring in this guy, then they're probably telling you that they're going to send all these guys, him, they're going to send pretty much a lot of those guys. So then you'll have to do some protections where you have to slide. The first key protection that you would do to pick up a pressure like that, actually, we'll come back to that. Sorry, I'm moving a little too fast. So first, we're just going to focus on one overloaded side. And the first key thing that you would want to do for pass protection is when you identify, okay, the left side's being overloaded. First off, you want to have your running back on the side that's being overloaded. And so, because you don't want your running back to have to, let me flip the play for a second. You don't want your running back to have to come all the way back here behind the quarterback and swing behind the quarterback to pick up this guy over here. You want him to be right there in front of him. So I'm going to flip the play right back. All right. So you want him to go over here. So the first key to pass protection would be to utilize this feature that they added in the game, ID to Mike. Pick up the pass protection screen with LB, then you press A or X if you're on PlayStation. And L1 is to pull up the screen, and then Once you press it, and then now you can ID the mic. ID the mic is essentially you're just going to tell the running back, hey, pick up this guy. He's going to pick up that guy. That's his responsibility. Here, running back, that's your responsibility. You pick up him. Okay, so that's the first step. That's the first fundamental thing that you want to do to have solid pass protection and try to pick up a blitz. I'm not saying that this is going to work 100% of the time for 100% of blitzes, but what I am saying, that's the first step, because every blitz and every new defense that you go up against is going to be a new learning experience. And you're going to have to do different things, different slide protections to pick up different blitzes the same way you would in real life. So I don't want you to think of it as your opponent's cheating you. Sometimes they could be. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of cheesers, spammers, or whatever name you want to call them. There's a lot of those guys out there. There's a lot of scumbags out here cheating you right now, trying to just get a free win online. Okay, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that I don't want you to automatically assume that. I want you to say, okay, each blitz is going to be a new experience, and I'm going to have to really kind of attack this blitz differently and learn what it takes. But there's always little basic things that you can do. First basic thing, ID the guy. ID the guy that's coming in free. Wherever the guy that's coming in free, that's the guy you want to ID, and preferably you want your running back on the side of that guy. Okay, so our running back is on the side of him. We're just going to ID him, and that's that. And then we're just going to step up. Running back didn't pick him up because the tackle had him. And once the tackle picks him up, what the running back is going to do is what the running back's always going to do is he's going to always take the guy that can get the most pressure or the quickest pressure on the quarterback. Quickest way to the quarterback is always through the A or the B gap. So because the tackle took the end, that guy on the end, and the guards took the two standing linebackers. The guard on the right took the standing linebacker. Guard on the left took the defensive end. Running back's going to take the guy coming right through the A gap and chop him. Okay. Now, if that tackle slides, then the running back is going to take this guy because I ID'd him. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. And I'm not doing the blitz yet, the meta blitz just yet right now, because I'm just trying to show you the basics. So here, same thing there. When we slide away, we're picking up the blitz. The tackle is still taking the linebacker on that edge, and so the running back's just going to take the free shooting guy. So those are two things that you can do first when you're just going up against a blitz. Now let's actually go up against the blitz. Let's just go up against it and show you what I mean. So, all right. So you're going up against this blitz, and your opponent is just screaming at you, getting a lot of pressure, and you're doing the basics. Like I said, the first basic tip would be to ID the edge that's coming, and then if that doesn't work, then after that slide away from your running back, so whatever side your running back is on. So if your running back is on the left, then you slide to the right and ID the furthest guy on the edge. So the furthest guy on the edge here on the running back side would be that linebacker, this standing linebacker here. Okay. So that's the first two things you would do. Let's just say your opponent is screaming at you. You're going up against this blitz, and he's coming in. Right there, I'm picking it up, which is fine. But let's just say your opponent is screaming at you. You don't know what to do. Right there. Boom. I didn't set up any pass protection on that play. He's screaming at you, doing all this stuff. Nothing works. Okay? Nothing's working. The ID isn't working. Any of that stuff. Like, all that stuff is just out the window. So right now I'm not doing any pass protection. The running back is blocking. You can see he's blocking. I'm just not doing any pass protections. I'm not setting up any protections or anything like that. I'm just letting the blitz work, getting screamed at every single play. You're getting sacked. Okay, so we know that that's the guy that's coming in free. Okay, so then we got to do our protections. And the first two basic things I said to do were ID him, that didn't work. And then you slide right, ID him. That's the second thing you would do, is slide away from your running back and ID the side that the running back is on. You slide by pressing LB or L1, and then right on the right stick or D-pad, and then you ID afterwards. That doesn't work. That setup does not work. Then the last thing, or the next thing you can do to kind of protect yourself, this is that last tip I told you guys that you could possibly use for identifying and protecting your quarterback, is the double team feature. The double team feature can help you a lot. So, and you use this feature if your opponent is getting a lot of pressure on you, but they're not sending 7 people. Now, if they're sending 6 and 7 people, don't use the double team feature, because at that point, right now we're blocking our 5 linemen and our running back, so that's 6 people. So if they're sending 6 people, you don't want to double team. If they're sending 6 or more people, you don't want to double team unless you're blocking more people than they're sending. Because if you double team, then that means now there's going to be one free guy coming in and you're going to get screamed at. So just keep that in mind when you're using the double team feature. But if they're sending less, so if they're sending 5 or less and you're just blocking your running back, use the double team feature if those other protections were not working. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to set the blitz up. So, all right, so you pull up the pass protection screen like so. And you see the slide protection to the right, slide protection to the left, and then you see max protect, and then you see down is double team. So you press down, then you move around, you can pick who you want the double team, and so double team will pick the lineman, okay? And so what you want to do is you want to double team the side where the running back is at, and what that will do is that will force your guard and your tackle to double team. For example, they'll double team that end right there, or you can tell them to double team the D tackle because he's in the center. That will also work as well. So if you're going up against a blitz like this where it's 3 down linemen and then you got this guy coming off the edge free, you can use this double team feature to pick up the blitz, because what will happen is either your guards and your center will double team a guy, and then so if I double team this guy, your guard and your center will double team the tackle, the nose guard here, and then your tackle will take the linebacker that the mic or the ID is on right now, Kwiatkowski, or however you say his name, and then which will leave the one free guy for your running back to take, which will be that free edge rusher that's been screaming at you and just giving you fits all game long. So I'm going to just do a double team here. I'm going to double team the defensive end on that play. You see how your running back just locks in on him and just waits for him to come. And that's the last thing that you can use to really kind of pick up the pressure. That's the last vital tip that you can use, or vital pass protection you can use to pick up a blitz. You see how I double team that in there, and because he didn't come, because those guys' responsibility, the tackle and the guard's responsibility is that guy, but because he went in zone and coverage, their next responsibility was the next guy coming in the middle. So they waited for him, and your running back now seals the edge on whichever free guy that's coming off the edge. And you see he's just locked in on him from the start of the play, and he picks him up just like that, easy money. So those are the 3 things that you can really utilize to really kind of protect your quarterback, pick up and recognize coverages, or recognize blitzes, and really kind of take your pass protection to the next level. Hopefully this tip helps you guys. Hopefully this helped you, Grady, in particular. I know this was a longer tip, a longer video, but I feel like it was important because a lot of guys deal with a lot of pressure, and you don't want to be getting screamed at down after down.